Hi, my name is Christina. Thanks for visiting my channel, Christina's Lifestyle. I started this channel because I wanted to share my journey of how I've decided to cook more nutritiously for my husband and I. We are in our early 50s and we are empty nesters. And in February, my husband was diagnosed with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Initially, when my husband came home and told me this, I said, well, what did the doctor tell you? What did he say would help your liver? Is there any medication? He goes, no, he didn't tell me much. He just said not to eat Italian food, not to eat any dairy, and to not eat red meat, and that he wanted me to go on a weight loss medication. And I just thought about it and I said, well, that's pretty vague. How are we going to figure this out? He said, I don't know. And I told him, well, we need to figure something out because I want you to be around for our future grandkids. I want to travel more in the future and I need you to be healthy. And so he committed with me that whatever I decided, like whatever meal plan I decided to come up for him, he would do it. And so I had a very willing participant and I told him that I would eat the way I was cooking for him so that he would have my support. And I think that's really important so that we're not eating separate meals. Anyway, so as I started to research this disease, there was so much information on the internet that was very helpful. And I couldn't believe how many, I think they said like a quarter of Americans, maybe more or less, have this disease. And it just hit me and dawned on me that this must be related to the food that we are eating. And I decided that I was going to research it more. And so after I did, I said, okay, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to start making our new lifestyle, and so that we can enjoy it in the future. So these are the things that my husband and I did initially that have really worked. And I've got to say that in the 3 months that we've been doing this, my husband has lost 20 pounds, which is incredible because he was on at the beginning of the year when you have your New Year's strategy, New Year's resolutions. He said he wanted to lose weight. So we put him on a low carb diet, which in the past few years ago had actually worked, where he had lost a lot of weight. And so we decided, let's go ahead and do that again. So we did that really good for the first month, for January, and he didn't lose any weight. And we were so confused, which led us to when he went to his annual checkup in February and then being diagnosed with the fatty liver disease. So what we're doing now is working and resonating, and it's great because it really motivates him and me to want to continue to live this lifestyle. Because if he can be more healthy, then that's a bonus. That's a big plus for him and for me. I just wanted this video, I'm just going to share some of the basics of how we got started because I feel like it's a gradual thing, and as you're figuring things out and you're adapting things that work for you and your family, then you'll find things that you like better or not so good. Maybe the recipes that we've tried several recipes that just kind of were bombs. Like they were not good. We were like, okay, we're never eating that again. But then other recipes we've tried have been delicious. So this first video, I'm going to just share with you the basic foundation of what we're doing. And then later on, I want to share with you recipes that my husband really, really likes. And he's, again, a big meat eating guy. He loves his barbecue. So this has been a big change for him. Not that we can't eat barbecue, but just not the ribs and all the other stuff that he used to eat. We're kind of holding back on that right now as he's getting his liver situation under control. So the first thing that we've kind of changed is checking your ingredients on food. It is amazing. I don't think I've been paying attention to that at all. I just assumed that the food distributor knew what they were doing and the food that we were eating was healthy enough. And, a lot of it is for you're rushing out the door, you're going to work or whatever, and you need something really quick, and you just grab that protein bar, that protein drink, and you assume everything is fantastic. Well, if you turn around and look at the ingredients, you'd be surprised at what is in what you're eating. All the processed foods that we're eating are not healthy. So that kind of leads me into this second item that we've changed was no diet drinks. And my husband loved his diet drinks. He would have at least 2 a day. And you turn around again, looking at the ingredients in diet drinks, there's sucralose. And sucralose is really bad for your liver, apparently. It stays in your body. Your liver has a really hard time getting rid of it, and it stores it a lot of times as fat. So when your liver is clogged down by all these ingredients, these chemicals, it's not good. And also aspartame is also in soft drinks. Also not good for your body, for your liver in particular. So instead, and also we were having protein drinks, and those protein drinks, they also have sucralose in them, as does the protein bars. So the things that we're thinking are really good for us are actually causing us to have issues internally, and are not in the end best for our bodies. So instead of sodas, we have switched to lemon water. And so we'll have lemon water in the morning, cold glass of water, just put some, like a couple slices and squeeze it, and it's been delicious. It's actually really refreshing. Put some ice in there. And then when my husband goes to work, he'll make up some lemon, and he'll squeeze in some stevia, some liquid stevia. As long as it's pure stevia, it's a great sugar alternate. And that kind of makes a little lemonade for him, because you don't need much of the stevia. And apparently it doesn't affect your fat burning mode. Anyways, so we really have just stuck to that and gotten rid of protein drinks. No more fruit juices, because the sugar content in fruit juices is so high that it inhibits weight loss. And then also we've switched from milk to almond milk, just because we're trying to stay off dairy, and again, looking at the ingredients in the almond milks that we're selecting, making sure that they're good ingredients. The third thing is no sugar. We've pretty much gotten rid of all of our processed sugar items. I mean, this is cookies, all the stuff that we used to eat, we just don't eat anymore. And like I mentioned before, we use stevia. I like to use that in my herb tea. You just need a few droplets of it into it, and it's plenty sugary and it's nice. And then also Lily's chocolate chips. They have all different varieties. They're also made from stevia, and those are supposed to be more of a healthier alternative to your regular sugar items. So I've made cookies for my husband that he likes that I'll share in another episode, but those have really kept him going. And so anyways, we're just finding alternatives to what we've usually been doing. The fourth thing is no oils. This one I really didn't know too much about. All the rancid oils like sunflower, canola, corn oils. Like, we've used canola oil for years, and little did I know that these oils are really bad. Again, they stay in your system for a long time. They're hard to get out, and your body doesn't know what to do with these types of oils. So that leads me to, we just don't go much to fast foods anymore. No more French fries. They're all cooked in these rancid oils. The fried chicken that we used to eat all of the time going out, we just don't do it anymore. We've totally changed how we've eaten. But at home, we got rid of all of the canola oils, everything. And instead we have olive oil, coconut oil, and avocado oil. And those are the main 3 oils that we use to prepare and cook our meals. So that's been a good thing to learn about. The 5th thing would be more fruits and vegetables and less processed foods. So for the fruits, especially for his liver, when he doesn't need as much, sugar, we use a lot of berries, so raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, and avocado, green apples, Granny Smith green apples. Those are all, again, low in sugar content, but have a lot of good, important ingredients that that support your liver. The sixth thing is getting grass-fed items, which I, again, never paid attention to. Grass-fed, the cows or whatever are naturally grazing out in the pastures versus being fed things that might contain harmful things in them and no antibiotics and things like that. So we've switched over, like I said, we switched to almond milk, but there is grass-fed milk. But we're not using that right now, but butter, grass-fed butter, and looking at your meats, grass-fed. Some of them are more expensive a little bit. So with the chicken, sometimes I'm not finding them really expensive. So sometimes I'll just go to Sam's Club, get the big one. It's the ones that have no antibiotics. I figure that's better than nothing, but it's been helping. I'm sure maybe in the future I can, if I find a better price on grass-fed items, I can do that. And if we switch to more of some red meat that are grass-fed, we'll do that as well. But for right now, we're sticking with our chicken and ground turkey while we get him under his liver a little more healthy. And then the last thing is exercise. Of course, this all does not work without exercise. Thank goodness my husband and I have always loved to walk. We usually wake up, I don't know, around 5:45 in the morning. When, especially in the summer when it's so hot, we love to walk when it's much cooler, and it's nice to get out there and breathe that fresh air in and get our bodies moving, and then come home and have our lemon water. It's delicious. It's very refreshing. My husband has a goal again of losing 15 more pounds, so we're definitely still on this journey. And it's some days, I will say, some weeks go slow. You don't lose anything, and all of a sudden you have a break, and then he'll lose another 5 pounds. So it takes time, it takes effort, but it's so worth it to see the change in him and in his health. So I will continue to share with you some of our recipes and what we're doing to make this a great experience for him and I, and to make it our lifestyle and to figure out what's going to work for us. Anyways, thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Remember, life is a gift. See you later.